County, just south of Versailles. So while Versailles is just outside this warning, I don't think you're going to be impacted by this as it moves closer to Eldon by around 7:07. That's when the circulation will be approaching Eldon right along Highway 54. This will get a little closer just off to the south of Jefferson City. If this continues straight east, I don't think we're going to see this in Jefferson City, but if you're in Wardsville, Russellville, Taos, you're going to be close to this storm that's going to be tracking in your direction by around 7:30. So keep that in mind. The next half an hour or so, this is going to be getting closer to southern Cole County. And again, this is a tornado warning for radar indicated rotation. It's just off to the southeast of Versailles near Barnett. And then we also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 7:45 for Morgan and northern Miller counties. And that now includes much of Cole County. That also goes until 7:45. So for Cole County, it is a severe thunderstorm warning. The tornado warning is just off to the west of there. It's all for this cell that continues to move out of Morgan County, just off to the north and to the west of the Lake of the Ozarks. So this is going to be moving into the Highway 54 corridor as we keep a close eye on it. As we back down a little bit farther south, we have a couple more cells that we'll keep an eye on getting closer to the Lake of the Ozarks, but this is our main concern right now. I do want to take a look at our wind shear product again, just to show you. I was pointing out a couple other areas of interest there near Laurie, and then just off to the southwest of Eldon, seeing a little bit more rotation right here in the tornado warned area. That has been progressing from Benton into Morgan County and has seen more of an uptick here over the last 5 to 10 minutes. And that's why that has been added to a tornado warning. So that continues to move closer to Eldon, just off to the north and to the west of Eldon. It's moving through Barnett right now. So if you're in Barnett, you need to be in your safe place. That's anywhere on the first level of your home or business, away from the windows in an interior room on the first floor. So these storms continue to quickly work their way east. As you look farther to the south, perhaps a little bit of rotation there off to the southwest of Eldon. So if you're in Eldon watching this right now, we have a couple of areas that we're keeping a close eye on that are going to be moving in your direction very quickly. So while you're not in the immediate threat for a tornado, definitely want to act like you are, because these are going to be moving in your direction. So if we take a wider view, have a couple of those areas of rotation. Versailles no longer in the threat. The severe threat also starting to lower there. We'll go back out to our radar view just to get a picture of this. The cell continues to track east closer to Highway 54. If you're in Osage Beach, the southern edge of this will be a little bit closer to you as well. So we have a couple of areas we're watching. This larger area is under a severe thunderstorm warning. That does include much of Cole County and Jefferson City. It's for this cell that is tracking to the northeast. So we'll be watching that very closely in the next half an hour as that gets closer to Jefferson City. If we take a look at our Lake of the Ozarks camera, we might be able to see some dark skies there. Definitely seeing that on the northern sections of the Lake of the Ozarks. We're seeing some showers and storms, winds coming across the lake at around 30 miles per hour. If we take a look at Jefferson City, this will be along Highway 54. So as this storm gets closer, we will be able to see what's going on there. And you'll notice there in the picture, things are dry, but skies are getting darker as those storms approach. Jefferson City in a severe thunderstorm warning until 7:45. So we're going to close out of this. So go back out to our radar. Want to track that tornado warned storm again. As it gets closer to Eldon, we will have that rotation, but this is definitely wrapped in a lot of rain, as Chance just showed you. Oh, you're tracking quite a bit of rain around these circulations. So it's not something that's going to be visible, and it's moving very quickly. If you're in Eldon, this is approaching. And I see we've got Chance's live shot up again. We want to go back out to him in the ABC 17 Storm Tracker 360. Chance, you just mentioned about 5 minutes ago that you are in Barnett. Where are you now, and are you out of that heavy hail core? It looks like we don't have him called in, but we have his live shot right now. So that's what you're taking a look at. He is in Miller County. So we are keeping an eye on some very heavy rain, dark skies there, and certainly probably some hail too, at least in this cell that is off to the northwest of Eldon. So again, if you're just joining us, we are continuing on the air because we have a tornado warning that's in effect for northern Miller and portions of central Morgan County. That goes until 7:15. The storm is very quickly moving off to the east. This particular cell is moving at around 40 miles per hour. These forward speeds tonight have been up to around 50 to 55 at times, and cells continue to pop up along the cold front. It's been very hot today. We've had a lot of instability for these storms to work with. Back out just a little bit as we get this into Cole County. So that's going to be tracking up to the north and east, up towards Russellville at 7:05, Wardsville at 7:21, and Taos by around 7:29, Lynn by around 7:46. So certainly some heavy rain as well. If we go back and take a look at our severe threats, this might be able to pick out some of that hail that we've been talking about. So this just has hail on it. You'll see anywhere here in purple, that will be the potential of our radar indicating some large hail. If we get a little closer there across southern Morgan County, potentially seeing up to 2-inch hail. So that would be egg size in the core of that particular cell. And then off to the southwest, so there on the northern sections, the northern arms of the Lake of the Ozarks, up to golf ball size, and hail that's approaching Eldon up to quarter size. And that's where we have that threat of a tornado. So we'll go back out to our velocity. We'll take a look at where we have some of those circulations. Definitely seeing that circulation moving over Barnett right now. We'll circle that for you. And Eldon, we are likely seeing some strong winds as well. Keep an eye on this area too. Perhaps a little rotation there just off to the south of Eldon. So you want to be in your safe place along Highway 54 in Miller County as these storms continue to work their way in. I want to take a look at just how fast some of these wind speeds are, up to 55 miles per hour there coming through Eldon, up to around 40 off to the north. But we are seeing that little bit of rotation, perhaps even 2 areas of interest there moving through Eldon at this point. So Miller County definitely getting the worst of this right now. I want to take the wider view of the radar, and up towards Jefferson City, we are seeing the rainfall, but we are not seeing that immediate severe threat. Within the next 30 minutes or so is when this storm will start to move in. Here in yellow, we have a tornado watch that does include most of mid-Missouri, and that goes until 10 o'clock for areas off to the west of Highway 63, and it looks like areas off to the east of Highway 63, that's in effect until midnight. So we're keeping an eye on some reports that are coming in from the National Weather Service. I'm looking at Springfield office right now, and they are talking about damaging winds coming into that just moved through Barnett. We haven't seen any reports of damage there at this time. They're talking about, the circulation, $50 size hail possible, but we have not seen any reports of damage or of any power outages just yet, but that's something we here will be working on in our news team as well. I'm going to shift over and take a look at some of these other storms. No other cells in mid-Missouri of interest just yet. So this one that's coming through right now will be our main concern. But off to the south, just saw this pop into the National Weather Service chat. Looks like we have another severe thunderstorm that's not quite moving into Camden County just yet, but it will be. Southwestern portions of Camden County included in a severe thunderstorm warning that goes until 8 o'clock tonight. So that cell will be tracking up closer to the Lake of the Ozarks. Well, we've kind of dodged this one off to the north. We will likely see impacts from that one as it gets closer. And again, these cells are all moving at around 40 to 50 miles per hour. So we'll watch that one. Still looks like we might have some circulation here just off to the east of Eldon now. It looks like this might have intensified a little bit too since the last scan. Anywhere here in pink, that's where we're seeing the heaviest rain and potential for some large hail. I want to go back out to the velocity because we might get a better look at that circulation. It looks like it's right over Eldon right now. If we are seeing any circulation, it's wrapped in rain. Just off to the south of Eldon, potentially seeing rain-wrapped tornadic circulation. Have not had a report of anything on the ground, but it would be very hard to see if we do have a tornado down. So if you're in Eldon, you're likely, this is moving right over you right now. So you want to be in your safe place. You are not officially in the tornado warning, but you definitely are getting close to that circulation. This area is actually on the southern side of Eldon near Aurora Springs, moving across Highway 52 right now as that circulation gets closer to Vaughn Road. We're going to be tracking this into portions of eastern Miller County. Right along Highway M is probably next in line for this, up towards Etterville as well. So anywhere along Highway 54 that's in southern Cole County and northern Miller, you want to be on guard as this system moves in your direction. So it's this area where you're seeing the red and the green touching just south of Eldon. That's where we would have that radar indicated rotation, possibly another area off to the north as well. This might be that secondary one that we were talking about. The first one does not look as impressive, but we're still seeing kind of a hollowed out area if we go back out to the radar right off to the north of Eldon. So this is where that main one would be. and then off to the south, perhaps one that's wrapped in rain as well. So certainly two areas to watch. Miller County seems to be the area of interest where we have this severe thunderstorm that's working through portions of mid-Missouri. So this is north of the Lake of the Ozarks. Again, if you're just joining us, Miller or Morgan County, really not seeing much more of a threat. The tornado warning is likely going to expire there. We still have one in effect for the next 10 minutes for northern Miller. But if this continues to hold, I would not be shocked to see this get extended. We have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for Cole County. That's until 7:45, and that's for the threat of damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour and half-dollar size hail. And then off to the south and west, we have another one that's moving in closer to Camden County. That one's kind of out by itself, though. That one kind of is a little bit more concerning for any tornado and hail threat just because it's not in this long line. So we're going to keep a close eye on that one. Southwestern Camden County in that warning, and that goes, I believe, until 7:45 as well, as that's going to be tracking in that region here in the next 40 minutes or so. So back off to the north, we have our warnings. We have other areas that really have not been touched by storms. A couple of warnings that just moved out of our area. In fact, the cell that just moved out of Macon County, now under a tornado warning out of Macon County, just off to the east of Kirksville. That's out across rural portions of mid-Missouri, just south of Edina. So that's going to be tracking out of our viewing area, but watching a couple more areas that are starting to see a bit more development. If I go back out here and show you the wider view, this is what we're tracking tonight. Severe threat will continue for the next couple of hours. Here off to the east, a line of storms. If I go over to the St. Louis radar, this will give us a picture of what we can expect in those areas as these storms continue to intensify, working their way on to the east. No active warnings there. So the main concern for us would be areas south of I-70 here over the next hour to 2 hours. It's this cell that's moving across Highway 54. I've seen an uptick in the hail there, so that's a bit concerning just off to the north of Eldon. I want to go back out to our Springfield radar, just switching radars because we have 3 that cover mid-Missouri, just kind of give us a better eyes of what we're seeing in the storm. Take a look at that velocity. Again, we are kind of right on the edge of the radar beam. It looks like winds have intensified even further just off to the east of Eldon. Let's go back out. Maybe this St. Louis radar will give us a good picture too. Kind of spotty there as well. You can see the edge of the radar beam kind of stopping right before Eldon. Shear product might help us out a bit though. If we go back out to Springfield and take a look at that. Yep, it still looks like it is just off to the east of Eldon. It's this weak area of rotation, perhaps seeing some very strong winds there up to at least 60 miles per hour. Now I'm going to step off again. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the National Weather Service reports. Again, we're on the air right now because we have a tornado warning that's in effect until 7:15 for northern Miller counties, or northern Miller County, I should say. Let's go back out and check that. They're going to continue the warning. They have canceled it for Morgan, so if you're in Morgan County, you are no longer under a tornado warning. It continues for northern Miller until 7:15. It still looks like it's moving east at around 40 miles per hour. Half-dollar hail will be possible. They're still indicating the circulation that is just north of Eldon, so you're seeing that on the radar right now. It looks like we've got a report of pea-sized hail in Eldon. They've had the sirens going off since about 7 o'clock in Eldon. But other than that, I've not seen any reports of damage. We're going to continue checking for any power outages as those continue to come in. We are getting some damage pictures. I'm checking those out from Clinton. Those were just west. So those storms came through Benton County. We're seeing some evidence of some strong winds as those came through. So overall, still looking at that threat of some rotation that's moving through portions of Miller County. We have a severe thunderstorm warning attached to this with the potential of a tornado spinning up here just off to the north and east of Eldon. That's where we have that potential for some very strong winds as well. Some pea-sized hail reported in Eldon over the last 5 minutes. So we're watching this severe thunderstorm as it tracks off to the east and northeast. So we'll get a new track of that. So if you're just joining us, It's about 7:10 right now. We're watching a severe thunderstorm that's moving out of Morgan County through Miller into Cole County. It's moving off to the east-northeast around 40 miles per hour. So we'll get a closer look here now that I have the track on it. Along Highway 54 in Cole County, definitely some heavy rain coming down in Russellville, and it's going to get even heavier very soon as this cell works up in your direction. Wardsville, you'll see this in the next 20 minutes, likely moving in by 7:28. Jefferson City by around 7:34 and Taos by around 7:36. If this continues to work a little bit farther northeast, we could see that in effect or moving up towards Holt Summit by 7:42. And it looks like we got a new section of this including southern Montauk. That also goes until 7:45. So we have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect for the next 35 minutes for southern Montauk, most of Cole County and northern Miller County, and the tornado warning that continues for the next 5 minutes for northern sections of Miller County. So I want to go back out to our velocity. This is just our wind product that shows you where we have a couple of these areas of circulation. So this one off to the south of Eldon is what I'm continuing to watch. This has not been under a tornado warning, but we're going to keep a close eye because this whole segment, it's moving into an area that has not been touched by many storms just yet. So still a lot of energy to work with. South of I-70, it's still under a tornado watch as well. So while we have not seen too many reports of damage, we are getting some reports of power outages. So right now we want to go out to ABC 17's Megan Drakis, who's been tracking that in the newsroom for us. What do we have now and where are these reports coming in from?
So Jess, right now I'm currently looking at a map right now. It's the Association of Missouri Electric Cooperatives across the entire state. You can see that map in front of you right now. There is 5,188 members without power. Now, breaking that down into mid-Missouri, we are looking at Benton County. Currently, we have seen those power outages rise. There was a tornado warning about an hour-ish ago in Benton County that has since been canceled, but currently there is 1,764 members there in Benton County without power. Mainly those are about 826 Osage Valley Electric Cooperative and then Southwest Electric Cooperative at 844 customers without power. Right now, we're seeing a bit fewer in Callaway County. 15 members are currently without power. In Cass County, we've got 41 members without power. Cole County, just 2 members tonight. Cooper County, 22 members without power. And in Gasconade County, we are just seeing a little over 100 members without power tonight. There is 106 members without power. Then we've got Morgan County. Morgan County currently has 294 customers without power tonight. Now, of course, we've got a few lower power outages, just fewer. We've got 1 member out in Phelps County, 1 member out in Pulaski. Of course, that big power outage that we are currently seeing right now is Benton County with 1,764 customers without power tonight. Of course, we are going to continue to track these outages and try to find you updates for when we can expect this power to be restored tonight. Jess, if you are good, I'm going to pass it back to you.
Yeah, thank you, Megan. That's some good context for some of the warnings and some of the storms that have moved through. Just giving you guys an update, we got some reports of some trees that took down power lines in Eldon. National Weather Service says they're going to allow the warning to expire. So a couple more minutes left on that. They are still watching some circulation between Eldon and Olean. But it's starting to weaken, which is something we've been watching as well. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect for portions of Cole County. That continues until 7:45. National Weather Service in St. Louis has taken off the warning for southern Montauk. So it's mostly just coming out of Cole right now and northern Miller. We'll see, I'm getting some more dings here. So we'll take a look at some of those. No new updates for these, but we're going to continue that severe thunderstorm warning for Cole County and for portions of Miller County. So I want to track that really quick, and then we're going to check in with Chance and see where he is. But I want to give a new track on this. If you are just kind of tuning in now, taking a look at what's going on, if you are in Jefferson City, getting some light rain now, probably going to get a bit heavier, especially on the south side. This continues to track off to the east and northeast. Oh, I might need to turn that off and redo it here for you. This is tracking to the east and northeast at around 40 miles per hour. It did have the threat of a tornado, but the National Weather Service is going to allow that warning to expire. So we can expect some heavier rain there in Wardsville by 7:25, Taos by around 7:35. This continues to push into Osage County, moving up towards Lynn by 7:54, and Owensville by around 8:38. So this all continues to track into the Highway 54 corridor. Tornado threats starting to weaken, which is good news. But for now, we want to go out to ABC 17 Storm Track meteorologist Jan Scott. She's been tracking these storms for the last 4 hours or so and has been on this cell that was tornado warned. You've been tracking this through the rain. It's been tough to see anything with that rain wrapping around these.
Yeah, Jessica, just like you had said, it's very hard to see with the amount of rainfall. One thing I want to focus on is the exact location I'm at and what you're going to be looking at. So right now, looking at Loman, that is going to be our current location. Now, actually, I'm not sure, Jessica, I'm going to fill you in on this. I just saw on my radar, are they lifting that tornado warning currently right now? I have data issues, so I can't tell you exactly. Are they currently lifting that?
Yes, this tornado warning has expired. If you can still hear.
Okay, yeah. So real quick, I'll just fill you in what we're seeing right now. We're seeing a lot of heavier downpours, and we're seeing a lot of lightning. Even with this system being severe thunderstorm warning, a ton of lightning. I mean, it sounds like fireworks going off around us throughout the duration of this storm, but really just seeing some heavier downpour. Any of that rotation even earlier, we couldn't see very heavily just because it was coming down so hard with some winds close to about 50 miles per hour that we saw. But we're continuing to follow the system as it heads off to the east. But for now, I'm going to throw things back to you. Right now, heading east through Loman, ABC Storm Track meteorologist Jan Scott.
Thank you for tracking these storms so diligently, and for sure stay safe as you're out there in the evening as the sun continues to go down. Want to give you an update here. Our tornado warning has expired. I've been watching these kind of weaken here, at least as far as the tornado threat. We're not looking at a weakening severe thunderstorm, still seeing possibility of up to 60-mile-per-hour winds and up to quarter-size hail as this moves through the rest of northern Miller County and most of Cole County. But for now, we want to send you back out to programming. We still have a severe thunderstorm warning that's in effect until 7:45. We'll definitely jump back in if we have any more updates as far as any tornado warnings. But for now, you can keep an eye on the radar on your ABC 17 Storm Track weather app. You can get those alerts instantaneously if you add those notifications. And of course, we have all of this streaming on our website, abc17news.com.